Welcome to Disrupt and Discuss with your hosts, E and Casey. A Boucher Ventures production brought to you by It's Just ETV and My Herba by the Fitness Collective. Now, without any further ado, disrupt and discuss.
Hey everyone.
Hello.
How's everybody doing? Welcome to Disrupt and Discuss, or D&D, however you want to say it, where this is our podcast where we break down modern challenges with actionable solutions. I am E.
And I'm Casey.
And we're just here to have some fun. And we have this podcast that we come up with health and wellness. And we've been talking about a lot of stuff. When we finally air, you guys, you're gonna get a lot
Earful.
from us. An earful, right? You're gonna get a lot from us. So I wanted to today's topic, we're gonna address another one here. It's about fasting. And so the topic or title I should say is Fasting Variations Demystified. That's a demystified. How to choose the right fast for your goals, basically. And we came up with this with regards to fasting because both Casey and I have fasted. I fasted a lot. I'm currently trying to I'm trying to figure out which day I'm going to fast. I have a fast for myself coming up here soon. But this one is about fasting. And so we wanted to talk about this subject not because it's the end of the year, because I don't believe in New Year's resolutions or anything like that, but I do believe that fasting is, if you've never fast, I would say try it. Obviously, again, read this down below. This information is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only, not the substitute for professional medical advice. So we are not doctors. We are not nurses. However, we have a little bit of knowledge and we've gone through some things. And I would say if you have not tried it, definitely talk to your healthcare provider, talk to your primary care provider, your practitioner beforehand. But I think fasting is good to try every once in a while. It's good to, abstain from things, right? It's a good way to abstain from some things. And it doesn't necessarily always have to be food. And that's what we're going to get into today. But I just wanted to say that if you have not tried fasting, hopefully you'll listen to this, you'll listen to us, and maybe it will spark something in you and intrigue something about fasting, and you may want to try it. So without further ado, whether you've heard about intermittent fasting or water only fasting or even the biblical Daniel fast, I've done that one too. Pretty much all of these on here almost, but these are like the buzzword or the most well-known fasts that are out there. But there's also a lot of confusion around these. So what's the best fasting method for you? How can you fast? How can fasting help your weight loss or your mental clarity or even longevity? And most importantly, what's the risk and what's the reward? So these are all things that we're going to discuss, Casey and I, and just bear with us as we walk through this. So what is fasting and why is it so popular? Casey, do you want to take that one?
Well, a lot of times people like to do fasting. It all depends on what's going on in their life. For example, for religious purposes, people just say, Daniel fast. I remember a pastor saying if you're not doing a Daniel fast, basically you're just starving yourself.
Right.
And you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do.
So there's all different kinds. People might not want to say the word diet.
Right.
So they'll say a fast if they're trying to, whether it be for an event, trying to get into an outfit. So there's all different ways to do it. And there's ways for, like he had said, longevity. We'll use fasting as a routine.
Mhm.
And again, we'll get into specifics, but then there's people that might eat certain days of the week and they might fast on completely that full day, the day that they're not going to eat. So hence fast.
Right.
So yeah, there's all kinds of reasons, remedies, and people make up their own kind of fast. And again, there's what we talk about is not tried and true as far as, it's engraved in stone. You got to do it this way. There's all different kinds. You got to do what works best for you. So yeah,
Exactly.
either because you can mix and match and do how it, again, what one size does not fit all. And
Right.
that's why it's probably popular as well.
Exactly. One size definitely does not fit all in
Correct,
fast.
correct.
Let's talk about the types of fast that are out there. Types of fast that we have a few. And like we said, hopefully this will, maybe some of you already heard of these, maybe some of you have not. So the first one is intermittent fasting, or
Mhm.
they call it IF or IF. And I personally do this one. This is so I can speak to this one very well. This one is probably the most well known. It's an alternative between periods of eating and fasting. So there's a few different types or variations. And some people may have heard like the 16-8 or the 14-10 or the 12-12. And those are basically the fasting periods. And so for me, I want to say it's the 16-8. There is a period of 16 hours that I do not eat. And then there's a period of 8 hours that I do within that 8 hour time frame. So my time frame is between 12:30 and 8:30. I don't have my first meal until 12:30. And so I have between 12:30 and 8:30 to eat what I'm going to eat. Does it matter what I eat? Really, it doesn't. But I can do one or two. So I'll break the fast with either a coffee that I have that has some powder, some mushroom powders in it, fills me up. And then I will eat dinner, have something, a dinner, but it's not as heavy. So I may have, because I can't eat that much anyway. Again, check out our stories. But for those who don't know, I'm bariatric. So I can't eat a lot, no way. So I'm not stuffing myself. I don't feel deprived when I finally, because I've been doing it for so long, my body knows what it's going to do when it's time to eat. And I don't need much to sustain me for the day. Like I said, I do the 16 to 8. So again, 16 hours off. For 16 hours, I don't eat. My first meal is at 12:30. It's at lunchtime. Right now, I have not ate. So because we're creating right now, but I have until 8:30 to eat a couple of things. And for you, maybe you may eat three things, 3 meals, or you may snack. That's up to you. Again, the 14-10. So again, we're talking about 14 hours off where you're not eating. Your body is resting. Your stomach and your intestines, they're resting. And then there's 10 hours. You have a 10-hour span. And so you pick the time frames where you want to eat. In the 12-12, 12 hours on, 12 hours where you're not eating, 12 hours where you have that window to eat. So that's what intermittent fasting is. And it says, why do you choose it? It's flexible. It is beginner friendly and it fits most lifestyles. For me, it did fit my lifestyle. Even if I'm at work, when I'm working, it's easier for me. My first meal would be lunch anyway. Technically, I would drink coffee. I don't eat breakfast. I stopped liking breakfast after I had the bariatric surgery. So I would only drink coffee anyway. So it's just like omitting the coffee, having water or some tea for the day until 12:30, and then have my first meal at 12:30. So it worked for me. It worked within my lifestyle. It wasn't something that was like uh, I didn't feel I couldn't do. So definitely, it's something that I would say definitely give it a try. If if you wanted to start something like this, it's not like a water fast where you're only drinking water for the whole day and that's all you can have. No, you can actually eat a meal or two, snack, but it's just you have a frame, a time frame when you do this. And for me, it's only for 8 hours. It's from 12:30 to 8. When within that time frame, I can eat and drink whatever I want, and then after that, I'm back on pause, and then I don't eat till the next day until. So that's how intermittent fasting works. Hopefully, I explained that. And if you want me to talk more about it, I could. But for this segment, we're just gonna just basic.
The Cliff
Yeah,
Notes.
the cliff notes exactly. So that's intermittent fasting. What's the next one, Casey?
So we have alternate day fasting, or the acronym ADF. And this involves alternate days of regular eating with fasting days. So there is the 5-2 diet. This is a variation. You normally eat for 5 days and restrict calories to about 500 to 600 calories for 2 days. So
Wow.
it doesn't mean that when I first saw this, I'm like, wow, so you're not going to eat for a couple of days? But
Right.
no, you're just restricting your calorie intake. And for me, this is something where you're really mindful of the food that you are eating on those 2 days specifically that are more, for me, protein based.
Right.
So it's just a matter of finding food that are rich in nutrients and everything so you can sustain yourself for those couple of days. And for me, it's, protein powders and all that kind of stuff too. But if you have a busy lifestyle, I don't know about you, but sometimes I even forget to eat.
Correct.
Doesn't mean I don't get hungry or ravenous when I think about it, but sometimes you just get going, and I'm not really a breakfast person. I might make something sometimes, but typically it's coffee. It's coffee, and as E had mentioned, there's the water only fast. Now these are for some serious folks that
Right.
I can't do that. Not no, I know they say never say can't,
Right.
but I won't do that. How about that?
Right.
So this is exactly what it sounds like, consuming only water for 24 to 72 hours.
Right. I've done that. It is not for the faint of heart. And I don't know why they say for only 24 to 72 hours, because that's the hardest part. So when you're doing a water fast, the first 3 days are going to hit you like a rock because your body's what the
Yeah.
is going on. I'm not getting food. You only drinking water. What is this? What is this? What is this? And your body, if you're a coffee freak or you need caffeine, you're going to get the shakes on this. You're
Mhm,
going to
mhm.
go through mental unrest on this because if you have any type of sugar fix, this one's not for you because
Yeah.
the first 3 days is going to break you down. But after the 3 days, that fourth and fifth day, your body normalizes it. So that's why I don't agree with what it just said here, 24 to 72 hours, because you're just getting into the thick of it. It
Yeah.
has to be after that. So
Yeah.
I would at least say if you're going to do it, and again, talk to a professional. But if you're going to do just water, it has to be more than 3 days. You're not going to be able to see nirvana until your fourth or fifth day. You're not
I
going to be
know
able
some
to,
other ways to see
right.
nirvana, and this ain't it. This ain't it.
Your body will normalize it. How about that? Your body will normalize it to where now it has adapted to what you're doing. But the first 3 days, you're just getting out of it, and then you stop. It's not gonna do anything for you. So
Right,
that's just
right.
my personal, because I've done it before. I've done it several times.
But one of the things we were talking about as far as the benefits, as rough as it sounds, it tells you that it's deep cellular repair,
Hmm.
detox, and your immune system resets.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
eh, yeah,
That's why I say it needs more than just 3 days, because your body it won't start doing that until it's relaxed. Right
right.
now, you're in stress mode,
I'm in
24 to
stress just
72
thinking
hours.
about it. There's no effing way. There's no,
Right.
no.
Your
But
your
again,
body's stressing.
it is for beginners. I mean, it's not for
It's
beginners.
for
It's not.
beginners. No.
And as always, as we're going to probably say throughout the time and in the little ticker tape at the bottom, definitely you want to always consult a physician before trying this.
Yes. So people who are diabetics or have high blood pressure or are on types of medications that you may need to eat, it's required for you to eat, I definitely consult your practitioner, your primary care provider.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Yeah. What's the next one? The
Let's
next
see.
one is
Daniel fast.
the Daniel
And
fast.
this is the one that we were talking about that was inspired by the Bible. This is a
Yeah.
21-day partial fast focus on plant-based, whole foods, think fruits, vegetables, grains, and water. It's great for those seeking spiritual growth on a dietary detox without complete food abstention.
Right. And like she said, this was the book of Daniel. If you ain't not into the Bible or anything like that, this is taken from the book of Daniel. It was Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, or they call it something else, but I ain't gonna say it on here. But Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were the three Hebrew boys that were in captivity, and they basically took, the king wanted them to eat this very high fat, high meat diet, and they refused because of their background, their religious background, and they made a deal with the king that they ate the way their diet, the way their ethnic background required them to diet, their religion, they would prosper a little bit better, they would do better than most. And so the challenge was set. They only ate the fruits and vegetables and things of that nature, while the other people that were captive or the slaves, they ate the high fat, high meat, blah 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 blah, and they were able to do more on the fruit diet than all the rest. They were able to last longer, were stronger, things of that nature. So that's where that diet came from. Again, like I said, check it out. It's in Daniel. I won't go too far into it, but that's where it came from.
No, I thought you was going to give church up in here for a minute. I was like, okay.
Tiki Barber here. I remember those grueling practices, pushing through fatigue and striving for greatness. Well, that's the same dedication My Herba puts into their supplements. They understand the body's needs. My Herba takes a holistic approach to wellness. Whether it's their CMOS, immune defense, or even sleepy time, they have an option for you. Let My Herba make the best you with code BARBER10 for 10% off at thefitnesscollective.com.
Yeah, it is 21 days. So I have done that one as well. I have done the 21-day Daniel fast. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So then they also have what is called the warrior diet. This
Mm.
involves fasting during the day, eating small amounts of raw fruits and vegetables, and then having a big meal at night. It's intense. It's perfect for those who want a challenge but still need energy during the day. So yeah.
I call this one, what do they call it?
Is this considered the caveman diet? Is that the one you're talking
Not
about?
the caveman diet, but it's more eat like a pauper or eat like a, what is it?
Oh,
Eat like
I don't
a,
know.
they call it eat like a pauper or eat like a person that doesn't have much during the day and then you eat like a king at night. So you don't eat it, but I think it should be reversed.
I get ready to say, wait a minute, now you got all that heavy stuff.
Right, because it's
And
gonna make you sleepy and
yeah,
tired. But that's what I'm getting from. I think let us know in the comments if I'm getting it wrong. I think it's eat like a pauper or I forgot it's something, but you eat like a king
okay.
at night. So it's one of those. Let us know in the comments what the correct term is for that one. But that's what I'm getting from that. But again, like Casey and I just said, I think it should be in reverse. You should eat if you're gonna eat like that, eat your biggest meal first because
Oh, for
you're
sure.
going out through the day and hopefully you're getting stuff done. You're not necessarily sedentary out doing stuff instead of eating like that 2 different hours or 2 hours before you go to bed. That's just gonna be sitting, festering, and heavy, and it's
Right.
not good. So those are the different fasts. Casey, which one have you tried, or which one do you think you might want to try?
Well, I used to do the 16-8.
Okay,
And
intermittent fasting.
oh, for sure. And the thing about it is, it sounds daunting. It sounds really crazy. But if you think about it, you have 8 hours to eat, not necessarily 16 hours not to eat. And
Right.
how it worked best for me was, I know you said 8:30 is when your cutoff point was. So for
Mm-hmm.
me, depending on what's going on in my life at that time, 9 o'clock might be the cutoff for
Mm-hmm.
me. But then when I go to sleep and I wake up, you're using up those hours that you're sleeping.
Correct.
So it's not like you're awake 16 hours and you're hungry. So
Absolutely.
I tried to not so much cheat it, but make it to where it works best for me.
Absolutely.
And by me not really eating breakfast that much, if I start eating at 12 or 1, well, my day goes by so fast, then I'm still within that time frame.
Yep.
So it just really works out that way. And then the one is when I used to try to be a bodybuilder back in the
Yeah.
day. It was more or less the eating a few days and then off a few days because I could only eat so much anyway, and maybe 600 calories per day was all I could do. It was so restrictive. That was
too
one of the
restrictive.
things that I leaned towards too, and I didn't realize it was a thing. It just was, okay, you can eat this much. So it's like, screw it, I can't eat anyway, so I might as well not even eat. That's just how I maneuvered that way. And I have done the Daniel fast when I was going to church back in the day. That's a whole
Right.
nother subject. But that was one of the things that was like an introduction to it. And again, we were told if you weren't praying while you were fasting, you're just starving. So it's,
Right.
oh, okay. But I did that part of it to where I had energy and I didn't feel bloated. But one thing I will say, and this might be in a different segment altogether, is food combining.
Yep.
So if you're fasting and then the times you are eating, yeah, you gotta, some people don't think about it, but I remember back when my fasting days, working out, getting ready for competitions, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you had to eat fruits in the morning. You had your oatmeal and everything. And I call myself, I'm gonna eat my oatmeal first, and then I'm gonna just, what do you call it? Eat the fruit later on. I did it in reverse, where I really
You ate the
should
fruit
have, because
first.
Yeah, because fruit, it,
It festers and ferments.
yes. And if I got oatmeal sitting on top of it,
Yep.
it's festering even more.
Right. And for
And
those who don't know what Casey is talking about, she says food combining. We can do a show on that and go deep into food combining.
yeah, so yeah, you basically you're gonna end up having gas, bubble guts, and
When I
all of
found
that.
that out, I was like, oh, that explains a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I read a book on it. I can't remember the name of the book right now, but yeah, they went hard. They went into. I was like, that's what they do. Yeah, it's a thing, you guys.
Yeah.
It's really a thing, and I think it's very eye opening. Like Casey said, that you really don't. These things you don't really take into consideration what you're doing when you eat and what you're doing to your body on the inside.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
So
I think we should just do a show about it. We should just come on.
yeah, because
We just gonna
I'm
do a show.
telling you,
Right.
it explains a lot.
Right. Whether y'all ask for it or not, we gonna put this show together because
It
it's a
explains a
good
lot.
one. It is very eye opening. I'm just gonna say that it's very eye opening. Like she said, you will be amazed at what you're doing to yourself by what she just stated.
Yeah. You'd rather learn it from here than learn it the hard way because it is unforgiving.
Yeah, and
There's
it
some
might
places I don't want to go back to.
right, and it might help you with some of the things that you're experiencing, as far as your gut microbiome and your gut health. We're gonna talk about it. When I talk about it, that's a topic within itself.
I
For
sorry.
real. No, no, it's good because it put it on my mind that we need to do a show about it. Because me and Casey talking, when we talk, we have discovered things separately, but we've discovered the same things.
Mm-hmm.
We just didn't know, but as we talk to each other and start talking, like, you heard about that too? Yep. I read a book, she saw something, or she practiced it. And it's amazing how you just don't know unless you start talking to somebody what people know,
Right.
you know? But absolutely. The same with the intermediate. I am an intermediate, like I said, intermediate faster. And one thing I did not mention is you're giving your body a rest. And it also
Correct.
helps your metabolism too. It speeds up your metabolism because just like when they tell you when you're eating or dieting, or I like to say lifestyle change, we don't like to say diet here because you die to it, doing it,
Correct.
right? But when they always say schedule your meals and your snacks, when you're working out, when you're in fitness, when you are, when you're doing things like that, they usually have you schedule. You should eat at this time of day every day. Then your snack at this time of day every day. Then your lunch, then your snack, then, your third meal. It's all scheduled. And the reason why it's scheduled is because you're training your body, you're training your system to where it knows okay, E's going to eat at 7 in the morning. And then she's going to turn around and eat at 10. We got to take what she ate at 7. It needs to get burned off. It needs to get dispelled. It needs to do what it needs to do. And then whatever's not being used needs to be dumped. And we got to get prepared because some more food is coming at 10. You're training your body. So it knows what to do. It's expecting it. If your body's in expectation of the nourishment of what it's putting in it. And the same with this. So that it speeds up your metabolism because you put it on a regimen, you put it on a schedule. By scheduling this time frame, it knows, okay, we got 8 hours. We know Casey and E got 8 hours. That's all we got. That's all they giving us. Whatever they give us, that's what we're going to use. And then it's going to dump whatever it doesn't use. Everything else goes to your muscles, your nutrients, things of that nature. You're putting your body on a schedule. And it helps your metabolism speed up. It helps your body. You're helping it think as opposed to somebody who's just randomly eating whenever they feel like it, putting whatever in their body. The body can't, it's out of sync. This shell we got it's very smart. It's the first man-made computer. What coding you give it is what it's going to do for you. If you don't know how to write code and you just random out there, then you're going to be random. But if you structure your code, if you give it specific things to do, tell it what to do, it will do it for you. So that's why these things help you align yourself, align your body, get in tune with your body. That's why fasting sometimes is really good, or detoxing, because your body gets a chance to rest, number one, and it gives you a chance
Exactly.
to, it gives your body a chance to, gives you a chance to understand your body. Am I really hungry? Sometimes you're not really hungry. You think you're hungry, but it's a true thing when people say stop after you finish your meal, wait 20 minutes or 30 minutes before you try to dump something else, because you're like, oh, I'm not full yet. Yes, you are, but you got to give your body time to let you that you're full. So these things, these fasting sometimes helps you get more in tune with your body if you allow yourself to.
And one of the things, I don't know if you had mentioned this or not, but being full versus being stuffed.
Correct.
So there's a difference. We all push away or fall away when we can't take that extra fork full of food. But then at the same time, you have to recognize, you know what? I'm good. I'm not
Right.
hungry. I'm not full. This is
You're
where I need to be.
satisfied. You need to be satisfied. Or what do they call it? Satiated?
Satiated. Uh-huh.
Satiated. But you got to give your body a moment to get to that. So you can't keep, because in a minute, you're going to be like,
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
and that's not a good place to be. So you got to give it a break. Hopefully that makes sense what we're explaining to you. And like I said, I've pretty much done all of these except that alternative day fasting. I don't think I can survive that, especially
Well,
knocking
remember, it
myself
is like
down.
500 to 600 calories. So it's about like,
Yeah, I probably could. I probably could. 2 days out of the week, you do 500 to 600 calories for those 2 days. I probably could
and if
try
it's
that one.
protein induced, because, like those
True.
protein balls and stuff that people
True.
make now, I don't know how
Yes.
many calories that it contains,
Right.
but I've had those and you can do some damage, man.
That's true. You're right. You're right.
I mean, I'm not
I
going to do it anymore, but you can let me know. Be
I've
letting
never
me know how
tried
it
it.
goes.
Yeah, I've never tried that one. I've never tried that one, and I've never tried the warrior diet. But like I said, for that one, I ain't eating no big, huge meal at night. That
Mm-mm,
would
mm-mm.
so I would say if there's one that I would try that I have not tried, it would be this 5-2 diet, which is the 5 days a week, and then two just eating 500 to 600 calories for 2 days.
Yeah.
If
I
I'm
mean,
gonna
that
try
definitely would
one,
take research to do. And then you got to
right,
plot your course. Here we go, the planner. You got
right,
to plot it and figure it all out so you can still stretch it out. So, yeah.
exactly, exactly. So that would be one I would consider trying. But the rest of them, I mean, like I said, intermittent. That's my daily life. That's just life for me. Water only. Done that a few times. Daniel, every church. If you've gone to church, going to a
No,
Christian
not in the church.
church. If you're going to church, and usually the Daniel fast happens at the first of the year. We gonna fast. We gonna fast, and we gonna fast and pray. So this one, if you've gone to any church, as Casey
Mm-hmm.
said, you have experienced the Daniel fast.
Yes, for sure.
The Daniel fast. Yes, yes. And there's some few that they missed on here. There are some juice fasts where you only, juice fast where you only consume juice. Obviously, not no sun kiss. We ain't talking about no cranberry, no ocean. We call it ocean,
Ocean spray.
ocean. We ain't talking about that. You have to do fresh juice, fresh squeezed juice, or if you're gonna buy it, and it has to be that unsweetened, organic juice. We can't be no sugars, y'all. No artificial sugars, y'all. You can't do it. But
Mm.
there are some additional fasts that aren't on here that you could do.
Mm-hmm.
That you could do. Yeah. How do you choose the right fast for you? First, you have to consider, what are your goals? What are your goals? Do you have a weight loss goal? Do you have a cellular repair, or is it spiritual growth? Figure out what it is. What are you trying to do? What are you trying to accomplish? So if you're trying to accomplish weight loss, you want to pick a fast. I recommend the intermittent fasting
Mm.
is the best way. Quick ways are those water fasts, but again, I don't really recommend that because, again, if you do it the way they were subscribing to, 24 to 72 hours, it's not going to work. You haven't been in it long enough. And once you get out of it, what you're going to do? You're going to run and stuff your face because you're still in starvation mode. You
Well,
haven't
it
even
sounds like
got,
you're going to be setting yourself up for failure,
you're
too.
setting yourself, she said it right, Casey said, you're setting yourself up for failure. So
Yeah.
if that weight loss, if you want to maintain weight, lose weight, then I would recommend intermittent fasting. And then, like we said, there's variations of it. You figure out what works best for you. If your goal is to detox your body, allow your system to reset, your liver, your kidneys, your pancreas, shrink your stomach. Believe it or not, sustaining, not eating or drinking helps to shrink your stomach.
Mhm.
So if you shrink your stomach, guess what? You're not going to eat that much. You may
See,
look at it and be like, ooh, I want it.
to your point, that's what happens a lot of time, myself included, back in the
Right.
day for Thanksgiving. I'm
Right.
not gonna eat because when I get there, I'm gonna tear it up.
Okay.
You
And you
still
can't.
eat, but not as big. Your eyes are bigger than your stomach.
Yep. Because you have waited to that whole day, or maybe some of y'all, I ain't going to eat for a day because I want to come in there and clean house, but you shrunken your stomach.
It does the opposite effect.
Opposite effect. Exactly. And they teach us that. And when we have bariatric too, because, you can reset. I can reset my pouch by doing that, by doing a fast and just doing a
Mm.
fluid fast, or a fluid fast. You reset your pouch. So, or if it's spiritual growth, like I said, we just talked about, usually in church, usually
Mhm.
at the first of the year, people got these quote unquote New Year's resolutions that I do not subscribe to. But for those of you that do it, I'm happy for you. Happy, joy, joy. If you like it, I love it. But if you're on one of those spiritual quests, a Daniel fast can help with that. Obviously, with prayer, fasting, and prayer. If you're seeking something, you're seeking answers, you can do a Daniel fast. So you have to figure out what's your goal, what's your end goal: weight loss, detoxing your system, resetting your system, or are you going on a spiritual journey?
Right.
What's the next one, Casey?
Now, see, what's your health status? So,
All
if you
right.
have diabetes, thyroid issues, or are on medication, you definitely want to consult your physician in regards to
Absolutely.
doing this because, again, we're not
I advocate.
doctors, anything like that, but this is just what has worked for us in the past, and this is what is out there.
Correct.
So, there's certain medications that you definitely need to have food when you eat. I mean, food
Mhm.
when you eat, of course. You need food when you take your medication.
Right.
And I know that among like many folks, have high blood pressure. So, for example, you have to be careful of when you're doing, even if a Daniel fast, you're saying do fruits. For example, you need to be mindful about what works because with the medication I used to be on, you couldn't have grapefruit. Now, I don't know how many people are thrilled with grapefruit or that's your main choice or go to, but that, along with certain medications, it affects the effectiveness of your medicine.
Mhm.
So you really need to be mindful about that kind of stuff and don't try to run with everybody else and do what they're doing because what might work for you might not work for somebody else for a totally different reason.
I definitely agree with that. Like Casey said, we're definitely not your doctor. Definitely consult. But I think you said, did you mention the childbearing age too? So if you're pregnant,
No.
out here, don't you know, you consult your doctor. But I say no. You don't need to be fasting if you have baby, if you're with child. Okay. You gonna drop some weight eventually. Right? You're gonna drop some weight eventually. Don't even worry about it. You don't need to worry about that right now. What's the next one? What's your lifestyle like? Do you have a busy schedule? You may want to try again. Intermittent fasting is the goat. Is the goat. If
It
you have
is.
that flexible schedule, you can try that 16-8 or that 14-10 or that 12-12. Spontaneous meal skipping. If you're for social events, alternative day fasting at 5-2. Try that. And that's more like I said, a social event. So if you got a wedding that you're trying to fit into a dress, or you're the matron of honor, or your birthday's coming up, you want to fit into this certain outfit that you bought on Fashion Nova, a size or two smaller than what you are, you really trying to be aggressive with it, you can give that a try. Again, talk to your doctor first. This is just, we
No.
talking, we family, we talking. We having conversations right now.
Mhm.
So it allows you that alternative day fasting is going to allow you some flexibility. So look at what your lifestyle is, what you're geared towards, and utilize that to make a decision as well on what type of fast you want to do.
Absolutely.
I think the last one is for you, Casey.
Let's see. So, are you a beginner or experienced faster? So, beginners start with small 12-12 or 14-10.
Yep.
So, and as I always say, remember, you're sleeping at least, I don't know, 5 to 6 hours of that time that you're not supposed to be eating. So,
Correct.
you're taking up that time sleeping.
Exactly.
And then with intermediate, gradually work up to 16-8. And again, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, and you're looking for a lifestyle.
Yep.
So, what's the rush?
Exactly.
And so advanced, prolonged fasting, water only fasting, or warrior diet can be your next step. But as always, take precautions. If like with anything, you don't want to set yourself up for failure. So you want to just take it slow. And if you fall
Absolutely.
off the wagon, so to speak, the life isn't going to end.
Right.
You just get back where you pick up where you left off.
Exactly. Or do a restart. But don't hinder yourself. Don't get down on yourself. What's the longest fast that you've done? What's the longest fast that you've done, time wise?
Mm, maybe I did, like I said, that main intermittent fasting, probably about maybe 3 months, something like that.
Okay. Okay.
But again, it wasn't difficult. I
Right.
just had to be mindful of the time. So that's the only thing I guess I said, if there's a drawback, if any,
Mm-hmm.
you have to be mindful of the time. If you go somewhere, it's like, oh crap, it's almost 8 o'clock. Well, do I eat still or do I wait until tomorrow? So
Right.
it's those constant decisions that you have to make. Life happens. So
Absolutely.
that's the thing. I was working towards a specific goal. That's why it was that time frame. But once it was over, I mean, like now,
Right.
I try to stop eating by 8, but if I don't, it ain't the end of the world.
Right. It's never the end of the world. Absolutely. Me, the longest I've done a fast, and I think we discussed it was a juice fast. It was fermented fruits and vegetables.
Hmm.
I did it it was supposed to be for 21 days. And I actually extended it to 30 days because I was in
Oh, wow.
that zone. Once I was in
Hmm.
that zone, it became easy for me. That's why I said you need more than 3 days.
Right, right. And I don't know if you had this experience, but when you start fasting and you get hungry, for example, you start to notice, okay, this isn't a hunger pain. It's just, my stomach is rumbling, but it's not like I'm starving. Just like when a baby cries, the different levels of crying, you'll
Hmm.
start to figure out the levels of your stomach growling, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It definitely helps with that. Also, I wanted to say, because you brought up a good point, and I hope I didn't lose it, with regards to being out and about
Oh, right, right.
and not having, you're about to cut off, your window is about to cut off. This is where myself and Casey, but Casey has trained to be in bodybuilding, or what do you call it, fitness figure?
Figure a long time ago, and
Right.
now it's just powerlifting.
Right.
That's all.
For
It's just
me,
powerlifting.
I've done challenges. And so I've done fitness challenges to lose a certain amount of weight at a certain amount of time. And what they did teach you was, with the scheduling of your food, like what I said, you're going to eat, you have to eat certain time every day, same time. They also taught us to meal prep for things like that. If you're a busy person and you're trying intermittent fasting where you have a time frame to eat, pack you something,
Mhm.
whether it be snacks or pack your meal. Always be prepped and ready. That may look like putting together a little Pyrex of like some of your protein, your carb, and your vegetable, your fiber. Have that with you where you can just easily heat it up, especially if you're going to work overtime or work late, something like that. Or even if you're out and about. We used to have to, because we couldn't eat the regular food, I've had to heat up or ask the people at the restaurant to heat up my food because I didn't want to miss the being among the folk, but I couldn't eat like the folk. So
Right,
I had to
right.
bring my own meal because I'm staying on target, on regimen, and eat my meal prep while they they indulging in every damn thing that I want. So
Right.
that takes discipline, but you can do that. If you pack some grapes, put a Ziplocs. I'm just giving you an example. Get some walnuts, some pecan, some almonds, some nuts, some seeds, have crackers, things like that to keep you satiated so you don't miss. That's just being a planner, planning ahead. That can help you with things like that. So you don't feel like, oh, damn, I'm not going to make it home in time, or I'm in traffic. Somebody's an accident. And we know here in Cali, once you
Oh,
hit,
that's every day.
right, once you hit a certain fairway and it's an accident, that's at least another hour. And if you plan to eat and you like, oh, I'm hungry and I could taste it in my mouth, I was going to put it in the oven as soon as I got home. And now you're not going to get home for an hour. That's when these little snackies help you.
Yeah.
So have your snacks, little Ziploc, not the big Ziploc, They got the
The
little
tub,
snack.
no.
Right. They got the little snacky Ziplocs that you can utilize. Pack you some fruit, some nuts, some crackers, some cheese, something like that. Therefore, you're not anxious and you're not messed up. You don't throw yourself off. You plan not to fail. But if you fail, like Casey said, get your butt back up. Don't take if you're gonna fail fast, just keep it pushing. I can say just keep it. Don't put more on you than what you can bear. That's what I say.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
hard, easy to say, hard to do, but I'm gonna say it nonetheless. I would say it nonetheless.
Yeah, you got that right.
Okay. So now the next one is what are we gonna talk about benefits and risks of fasting. So Casey, go
Okay.
ahead, do what you
Now,
do.
now I'm in the right spot. Okay.
You in the right spot. Do what you do.
So there's some of the benefits, as some of the obvious ones that people are aware of. It would be weight loss and fat burning. So that, for a lot of people, that's the ultimate goal. That's not for what everybody is doing, but that's the popular one at this point. And it improve your insulin sensitivity.
Right.
And I can't speak tons on that, but it is one of the benefits. And for those of you out there that, are intimately involved with the whole insulin thing, you would know that fasting does help with that. Enhanced mental clarity and focus. I notice when they talk about what is it, fog brain or something
Yep.
like that.
Yep.
You don't have that sluggishness, so you are able to think a little bit more on your feet and a little bit more quickly. What you're thinking and what you're saying might not make sense, but you are clear with it. So we clearly know what we're
Say
working
that.
with.
Okay. Say
Okay.
that.
Cellular repair through, oh God, this word, autophagy.
Yeah.
AUTOPHAGY, which is a fancy way. I should have read this part. A fancy way of saying your body gets rid of damaged cells. I should have just said that. Try to sound all sadiqui, and that's like, you screwed it up anyway.
I don't know. I don't really know anything else, but this is what it means. That's what it means.
Yeah.
Okay. That works. So enhance that mental clarity, that cellular repair. I'm a proponent of cellular repair. So your inside. Your body needs a break. Your body needs a break. It needs to reset. And I know some people are like, no, you're supposed to eat. You have to eat 5 days every day, 3 times. No, you don't. No, you don't. And there's even studies out there that say the older you get, the less you need to eat.
Yeah. I know that with my mom. I'm like, did you eat? She goes, yeah, a few little morsel of stuff. And it's like, huh? She goes, I'm not hungry.
Yeah. The older you get, the less you need. Because they're not as mobile. They're not as on the go. You're not a teenager anymore. We all know if you have kids, when they hit teenage mode, or I say between 11 and 18, your refrigerator is like at war. It's hard to find any type of anything in there because your kid has come in and just ran through.
Oh, yeah.
Your cabinets, ran through your refrigerator and your freezer.
And then tell you, hey, Mom, we're low on this. We don't have this anymore. I did yesterday.
Right. They leave you a swallow of juice and just leave it up in there.
Oh, get the salad bowl for cereal. Really?
Right. Salad bowl for exactly. Well, guess what? Because they are, that body they're growing, their hormones are off the hook. They need more. But as we get older, we don't need all that. You don't need that big old bowl of cereal. So y'all sitting up watching TV in nostalgia, reminiscing how I always ate a big bowl of cereal and you 50. Don't do that. That's not a good look. And you definitely don't want to be eating these colored Cheerios and Kicks and what you call Lucky Charms.
Oh, God.
Don't do that. Don't do that. You don't need it all. You don't need that. You do not need all that.
And plus, it's so expensive. Oh, my God.
Yeah, that too. That part too.
I mean, that's a whole nother conversation.
Right.
I can feel myself just going to the bulk bins over there at the local grocery store. But I'm not going to go into all of that. Because I'm not paying for the box.
Okay, you're not paying for that name.
No.
You're not paying for that name, okay?
You're just going to get flakes. How about that?
Okay, get the flake. You don't need the frosted flake. You don't need the tiger on it. You don't.
No.
Right.
Mm-mm.
Let's talk about what's the risk. There's some risks with doing this. And like we kept saying, we're going to keep saying, consult your physician. The risk of dehydration. Make sure you stay hydrated, even during fasting. Yeah, you can easily get dehydrated. And for you guys who, like we said, who have some issues or some health concerns, or you're on medications, and some of those medications that you take get you dry mouth and cause you to be dry mouth. So that's definitely
Yes.
want to make sure you're hydrated. Hormonal imbalances. Women in particular should watch for changes in their cycles. Women who menstruate, when you're at that, what is it, premenopause, a young person, but I don't recommend this. Also, we're going to talk about that too. If you're in that stage of life where you still have menstruations, then it can throw it off. So if you're doing, especially if you're doing it long term more than a week, it can possibly throw you off. So those are some things just to be mindful of. Fatigue and irritability. We talked about that.
There's a lot of hungry people then, because there's a lot of irritability floating around.
If you got greedy girl issues, like me, you have to mentally get prepared for this, because your greedy girl gonna be on 10 for the first 3 days. The first 72 hours, you gonna go through the shakes. If you a coffee lover, you got to have your Starbucks, Pete's, Dutch Bros, anything like that.
Man,
Or
that
just-
headache, that
yes.
headache is no joke.
It hits. Yes, you will get hit with it. So it's a wall that you're going to hit. You definitely need to be mindful of that, because it's also going to make you, like you said, irritable. Get irritated. Somebody going to piss you off because you ain't been able to have your coffee. You ain't been able to have your wine at night. You can't have
that's
your
right.
little.
It cuts that out too, doesn't it?
Got to cut out your alcohol.
Yeah.
So if these
okay.
are vices that you have, yes, you're going to be irritable, and you're going to get tired because you are not, especially for the first few days, because you're denying yourself some things. Yes, you're gonna get weak. You're gonna begin to get weaker because you're not eating the same way.
Right.
So those are some risks that you need to, be mindful of. Consult your physician. I'm not gonna say no more than that. But what I was gonna talk about age wise, because we didn't discuss this. Teenagers should not be on this unless they have talked to a doctor. Now, if the doctor puts it on it, then that's fine. But if you have young people, any type of from age 5 to 16, definitely not. You don't need to be putting your baby on no fasting, anything like that. Unless it's something that, your doctor prescribed, it's for a surgery or something like that. Because, with surgery, sometimes they tell you can't 24 hours, make sure you don't do that. But definitely don't want to do that with young children. You also don't want to do it with older people, 65 plus. Again, consult your physician if you do. And that's only because if we're not talking about a healthy 65, we're talking about somebody who may be experiencing some things like some sicknesses, or have some challenges. So it's definitely not recommended for folks who are on medications unless you talk to your doctor. Anybody a young child and older people, you want to definitely consult. Anywhere in between, if you can read, if you can research, do your thing.
Right.
Do your thing. Any final thoughts?
I've said all I really needed to say, to where you definitely have to be, again, mindful, listen to your body.
Right.
The first few days is be a little bit challenging, but you just take it as it comes.
Absolutely.
And consult your physician.
Consult your physician. We're going to keep saying that. We don't want no liabilities out there.
Mm-mm.
But I think
Mm-mm.
hopefully we've given you guys some tools. Hopefully we've defined what fasting is, the different types of fasting.
Food for thought. Ooh.
Food for thought, right. It's not one size fits all, obviously.
Correct.
It's based on your personal goals, your lifestyle, what you're trying to do, right? Your body type, things of that nature. Hopefully we've given you some things to think about, some things to go and research. We always encourage, do your own research.
Right.
Don't just verbatim what we say. We've done our research. Obviously, this is not if we talk about fasting verbatim, we would be here more than an hour if we went into, a deep dive into fasting and the components of it. So we're just giving you a snapshot of fasting. Hopefully you take it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Like I said, if you do, let us know in the comments. Again, like, share, subscribe if you want to do more of it. If you want to hear more from us, we would love to hear from you. And you'll see us in the next one. Again, our social media. It's just ETV, but also Disrupt and Discuss. That's on TikTok, IG, YouTube. We're probably going to get an X too. But right now, these are...
Okay, I don't even know what that is. So we could talk
Twitter.
offline.
Twitter.
Oh. Okay.
formerly known as, like Prince,
Oh,
formerly known as. But right now we're on YouTube. So if you want to see us, you want to see the visual for our podcast folks who are listening to the audio. If you want to see us, we're on YouTube. We're also
and
going to be posting clips on TikTok and Instagram.
right. And I'll probably have clips posted on my page, not the whole thing, but
Right.
just like you said, the clips. And that's at the Fitness Collective, at the Fitness Collective. That's FITNESS Collective, COLLECTIF
Tip.
only. The Fitness
Tip.
Collective.
Yeah.
Collectif.
Collective. Okay. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this discussion. Hopefully you got something out of it. And again, let us know. That's our call to action is let us know in the comments. Give us something to read. Let us know which fast that you're interested in trying or what fast you have tried and what did you think about it? How did your body respond to it? We want to hear from you guys always. Love to interact. I love to interact personally. I love to hear from people. I love to chat in the comments. We will respond. So definitely let us know. And we look forward to seeing you guys again in the next one. All right. Bye.